Hello everyone. Today I am going to talk about a very important topic of your undergraduate, that is indifference curve. Indifference curve. Then first of all we need to know what is indifference curve. Indifference curve is a set of those combination of two goods which gives you the same level of satisfaction. Suppose you are having two commodity, then you have to select the proportionate option, that by selecting those two commodities you have to get same level of satisfaction with the help of these two commodities. Okay, simply it is a set of two commodities which gives you the same level of satisfaction. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the graphical representation of your indifference curve. How you graphically represent your indifference curve. This is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. Suppose this is your commodity M and this is your commodity N, and this is your indifference curve. Then it is a set of commodity M and commodity N. Then you have to select appropriate proportion for your consumption. Then you get same level of satisfaction with the help of these two commodities. Then another important aspect of this indifference curve is what? We talk about properties of indifference curve. Then your first property is indifference curve is downward from left to right. Your indifference curve, in this case your indifference curve is downward from left to right. Now the question arises, why your indifference curve is downward from left to right? The reason behind is what? The reason is that if you are going to consume commodity M more, then definitely you have to sacrifice your commodity N. That's why if there is an increase in one, there is decrease in another. Suppose if you are going to increase this commodity, then there is a decline in this particular commodity. That's why because of consumption of one commodity, you have to sacrifice other commodity. That's why your indifference curve is downward from left to right. Now we were going to talk about your second characteristics of your indifference curve. Second characteristics of your indifference curve, that is, your second characteristics is what? Indifference curve is convex. Indifference curve is convex to origin. Your indifference curve is convex to origin. This is your indifference curve and this is your convexity. This is your indifference curve. Why it is basically what is convex in nature? This is convex in nature because of decreasing MRS. Then we need to know what is MRS. This MRS is basically marginal rate of substitution. What is this marginal rate of substitution? Marginal rate of substitution simply means if you are going to consume one commodity, then obviously you have to sacrifice another commodity. That's why the rate at which you sacrifice one commodity for achieving another commodity. So because of decreasing MRS, this indifference curve is convex to origin. Now going to talk about your third characteristics. What's your third characteristics? Your third characteristics is indifference curve never intersect each other. Indifference curve never intersect each other. Suppose this is your IC1 and this is your IC2. In this case, your IC2 basically intersect the IC1. Then if two different, suppose if there is two indifference curve are there, and two indifference curve simply says it gives you the different level of satisfaction, then how two different IC gives you the same level of satisfaction? Then by principally it is not possible that two different indifference curves gives you the same level of satisfaction. That's why two indifference curve never intersect each other. This is your third property of indifference curve. Next property is what? Indifference curve never touches any of its axis. Indifference curve never touches any of its axis. Simply means, suppose I am going to explain it with the help of two diagrams. Suppose in this case your indifference curve touches y-axis, and in this case your indifference curve touches x-axis. Then the law of IC fails, because if this touches y-axis, it talks about only y commodity, and if it touches x commodity, it talks about only y commodity. Then the law of IC fails, because law of IC says that it is a set of those combination of two goods. Then in this case there is only one commodity, in this case also there is only one commodity. It simply means if indifference curve touches any of the axis, it talks about only one commodity. That's why logically and principally indifference curve never going to touches any of the axis. Okay, now I am going to talk about the fifth property of this. Higher IC indicates higher level of satisfaction. If you are at higher IC, it simply means it gives you the higher level of satisfaction. I am going to explain with the help of example. This is your IC1, this is your IC2, and this is your IC3. Simply, if you are at IC1, it gives you the minimum level of satisfaction. If you are at IC2, it gives you the more satisfaction than 1. And if you are at IC3, it gives you the more level of satisfaction. It means higher IC always gives you the higher level of satisfaction. Okay, clear? It simply means कि if you are at higher IC, it always gives you the same level of satisfaction. Then this is all about your indifference curve, and this is all about what are the properties of your indifference curve.